Hello and welcome to the channel. If you like it, do subscribe. So, welcome to another show and tell, another print and play game. This time, One Night in Taranto, 11th of November 1940 by TCS Games. The solitaire simulation of the Royal Navy attack on the Regia Marina in the port of Taranto. Actually, the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy, several swordfish planes that amazed the world. They were deemed unsuitable for modern warfare in 1940, but they did a terrific job. The game is called actually One Night in Taranto Makes a Bold Man Humble. I was looking for this game because I've seen some pictures and on at least one group on Facebook, and I was very intrigued by that map. I said, "Ooh, that's nice." The counters um, and it's a bit funny. I thought that it wasn't on Wargame Vault because I developed some sort of hubris uh, related to the Vault. I have more than 100 print and play games already made from the Vault, and I thought I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it there, so it must be someplace else on older sites. I just couldn't find this game, and then I said, "Oh, well, let's let's try the Vault. Let's I don't know on a whim. I made a search, and lo and behold, it was there. I felt so stupid. So yeah, it was rather cheap. Um, I bought it. I printed the components. It only took me, I don't know, the most part of an hour or an hour and a bit to put everything together. The game comes with, so it's a single file. You have the rule book, which is I don't know, around 8 pages maybe. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, no, the entire. I believe the entire file is 8 pages. So actually, the rules are 4 pages with the scenarios included. Then this cover could be a box cover if you intend to make a box. Then you have a map, a single file, but I printed it on 2 pieces of standard paper, laminated them, cut them down, and stick them with scotch tape. I know it's very low res, not low res, sorry, low tech, very low tech, but it works. Maybe I'll try a mounted board using label paper because this is rather slippery, and I played the game when I played the game when I made a sudden move or something like that, the counters seem to go ice skating, but it's functional, it's nice, I like it. We'll come back to the components. Then we have the mission sheet, which is the main engine of the game, and you have to write down the plane ID, the weapon you're using. You can use bombs or torpedoes. You write down the flight path. So this is all pre-planning. flight path using the coordinates set up on the map, I mean these numbers. Then you have the target, which region, if you're using bombs, can you bomb port facilities, or if you are using torpedoes, which ships. We have places for ships here. And then the damage you inflict and the damage you sustain. There are several types of damage for inflicted and sustained. If you get too much damage, you lose one or several planes. If you inflict enough damage, you can sink ships, or instill serious damage to the port facilities. And then you have a bunch of counters. I put them into this organizer. Of course, it doesn't come with this. You have the ships, which are cruisers and battleships. There is no symbolic discrimination between the two, except for the silhouette. I mean, you can tell that you have Zara, but only compared to the others. You have Littorio here, which is bigger, and it has more guns, more turrets and stuff like that, compared to for example Zara. And you can tell that Littorio is if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Regia Marina's order of battle in the Second World War, you can guess that Giulio Cesare, Julius Caesar, or Caio Duilio, the Roman admiral. So these two are, or Vittorio Veneto or Conte Cavour, are battleships, and these smaller ones are cruisers. So other than that, I really like the counters. The counters and the map were the thing that sold the game for me. I haven't found very much information beforehand, but seeing the map and seeing those counters, I said, oh, I have to try this. So these are the targets for the torpedoes, so to speak. Then we have flares, because bombers can launch flares, and there is a flare area in almost, I believe, quite almost, I mean definitely all, not quite almost, definitely all regions. So there are flare, every region has a flak and a Flugabwehrkanone, I mean anti-aircraft defense, and flares box, but other regions have ATD, anti-torpedo defense, as well. So like I said, bombers can use flares. After you suffer the flak attack, you can bomb or flare, or both, or flare or bomb the area. Flares are useful because they give a +1 or other stuff, at least a +1 modifier for the accuracy of torpedoes. But then again, planes are incoming swordfishes are more discoverable if the region is flare. So there are pros and cons for flares. These are the damage cheats. There are 12 damage cheats for the ships. If you score a hit on a ship with a torpedo, you randomly draw one of these cheats and so do what's on them. You see, some of them some of them say cripple, some of them say damaged, which is light damage actually, but the damage is damage can be added, both inflicted by this but a scratch. So this is no damage, and I don't know, that's about it, I believe. Do we have a sunk? I don't know, I haven't drawn. Oh yeah, there is a sunk, at least. I haven't drawn a sunk. Um, I've never drawn a sunk when I played the game. These are the swordfish counters with the call sign of each historical call sign, and then we have the markers for the flak level, for the ATD level, and I believe you can use them for other marking duties which are not expressly, manifestly shown in the rulebook. Why? Because there is no, in the rulebook there's no reference to a flak level which is high, or ATD level which are higher than 3 or 4 respectively, or stuff like that. So there we have 5 and 6 here, so there must be more that you can do. Oh, there's an earthquake. There's more than you can do. I'm kidding about the earthquake. Some stuff fell down. So there are more stuff that you can do with these markers. So these are the counters. I printed them on label paper, matte label paper, on 2.5 maybe, or something like that, millimeters chipboard. I still have some of it lying around, and I intend to use it before I return to buying 2mm chipboard, because those are really more you can cut them, you can cut that type of chipboard easier than this one. This is rather a pain in the neck, but of course the result is that you have thicker counters. So pros and cons, everybody, pros and cons. So yeah, these are the components. I really like the game. The game is consists of roughly 2 phases. The planning phase, which is where you actually do stuff, like make decisions and I don't know, weigh in pros and cons, I don't know, decide tactics and stuff like that. Because once you plan everything, and you really plan everything, there are 2 waves. Historically there are 2 waves, so this is simulated here. You play in the first wave and then the second wave of planes. You write down each plane or which type of weapon it will use, the flight path. Historically you can enter on that side of the map, and I believe here, but I might be mistaken. And then you say, well, I will go from 1 to 6 to 7 to 12, and then which target you will bomb or torpedo. You have, like I said, you can bomb port facilities, and you can torpedo their ships in their respective regions. And then after you do all this for the 2 waves, historically you have I don't know, 6 torpedo bombers. I mean 6 swordfishes armed with torpedoes, and 6 with bombs in the first wave, and then you have 5 swordfishes with torpedoes and 4 with bombs in the second wave. But there is a variant scenario. I haven't played it yet. I'll be trying it, and then you can mix and match different types of flak value and ATD values and disposition of the Italian fleet and stuff like that. So after you do all that, then the entire raid, the entire bombing raid or torpedo run is unfurling before your eyes, and all you do is make the calculations for the game and um, record the damage inflicted or sustained. So planes come in, you for every region you enter one by one. You move the counter on the map one by one. The planes enter as you've recorded the flight path. For each region they suffer flak attack. Then you can use flares or bombs if it's suitable. Well, flares you can use practically everywhere. Bombs in specially designated areas. You have bombing. You can bomb harbor facilities, port facilities, and then you move to the next region. Again, flak attack, then bomb, torpedo, or flare. If you or bomb, flare, or torpedo, because torpedo bombers can or swordfishes rather swordfishes that are armed with torpedoes can't launch flares. And you go. There is a bunch of die roll modifiers for the flak, die rolls modifiers for the bombs, mainly involving flak, or exclusively for bombs involving flak levels, and oh no, flak levels. Sorry, flare levels. So each flare adds +1 basically to the bombing roll. For the torpedoes, there are other. The base level is 7 plus flare levels and other stuff, and you roll for that number. If it's you roll if you bomb. If I'm not yes, you roll 2 dice for the bomb, and you roll 2 dice for the torpedo, and if it's lower than that accuracy number, then you score a hit. For the torpedoes, if you score a hit, you draw a cheat and you see what happens, and then for the bombs, if you roll a hit, you roll a level. So between such and such, it's nothing happens. Between such and such, it's light damage, heavy damage, and serious damage. And all of these are receive points at the end. And then after all of it went through, in the second part, you see you only have to move stuff and resolve stuff. You don't have to decide anything because you've already decided in the comfort of the war room on the flagship or wherever. Then you tally the points and you see what kind of victory you have. So in that it can be a bit lopsided, the game. I mean, the decision-making process takes a halt after you you give the go to the operation, but in a way it's basically what happened in what happened in Taranto and what happens in raids. You don't have to control from the headquarters. You let the events unfold. So from this point of view, it's a rather interesting simulation. I really like it. The rulebook is clear. I didn't have too much problem with it. I had to scratch my head a bit because it was speaking about accuracy and it wasn't for the torpedoes, and it wasn't really precisely defined. uh, for first I thought that the middle number for the name of each individual torpedo is also its accuracy number, but it didn't make sense because you needed to roll something less than your accuracy, but you used plus die roll modifiers, and it was really, it didn't make sense. So I suspected it was something else. When I reread the rules, and it all fell into place, and it made sense, and it just I really didn't even had to consult the rules except for the specific tables, for the table rolls, and even those, after a few iterations, after a few planes, I nearly learned them by heart. So and another thing that could have been done better, but it's only an aesthetic thing, is the borders for the regions. Um, Maybe I intend to, if I redo this on a mounted board, I'll use a Sharpie or something like that, or to strengthen the lines, to thicken the lines, because in low light, or I don't know, in a trickling light, there could be problems for the boundaries for the regions, or some of them seem to be adjacent but they're really not, and stuff like that. But in good light like this, that's not really a problem. All in all, I really like the game. Simple, effective. I'll be playing this uh, again rather soon. It's a nice filler um, with a strong historical simulation feel. Um, I don't know if it says a number of hours that you can do this, but it plays really fast. The most time you spend planning, then after you know what you do, uh, planning becomes easier, and the execution of the plan is even easier than that, so it flows rather nicely. um, yeah so this is the uh, one night in Taranto. Like the game. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.